Hello everyone, Pineapple here, and today we're gonna take a look at the best thing about the sporting event, at least the most interesting, because sports, whatever, the trailers that came out in and around the Super Bowl. We won't be going super in depth as this is supposed to be a shorter video and we do have a few to cover. Starting with the smaller trailers, we have F1 and, well, the trailer's kinda shit. Yeah, there's a proper trailer that came out months ago that I haven't seen. The little dialogue here I didn't understand. The racing looks decent, but I need to see more to make a proper judgment. But something tells me I'm not going to be seeing this when it releases anyway. But it seems to have a good cast, as shown by half the trailer just being shots of people's faces, including Brad Pitt and the guy my mum confused for Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Javier Bardem. The movie might interest racing enjoyers, but I don't think I'll be checking this one out. Next is another short, almost nothing trailer with Megan 2.0. The first movie was a fairly decent, if a little funny in points, horror flick. It definitely could have been worse, but hey, I'm always up for schlocky, cult-like movies to get 1 or 3 sequels. The trailer is just showing that Megan looks nice and capitalizing on the dance that carved out a trend, but with no cast or anything, there ain't much else to say. But I'll probably see it when it comes to streaming. Let's change it up with some more mainstream movies, starting with Marvel's answer to Suicide Squad, Thunderbolts. A movie I've been pretty hyped for since it was unveiled, and with a pretty solid cast, actors and characters that I love or have wanted to see more of are here in droves, with Bucky, Yelena, David Harbour, Temu Captain America, and then characters that could really use more work. I barely remember Ghost, but I'm happy she's back. The MCU Taskmaster is basically a non-entity, and although I keep getting Sentry on the Marvel Puzzle Quest app, I know nothing about him, so I'm hoping he'll be interesting. But now let's look at the trailer's highlights. There are some really good effects around what I assume is the villain, Sentry's dark personality or whatever. I love the sort of Hiroshima shadow effects, Alexei is funny, Yelena is still relatable, and most of them seem to have a decent comedic connection. But whether there's a good heart behind them, I'll have to wait and see. Bucky putting his arm in what looks like the dishwasher is a mood, and all of the action looks pretty decent. And while the colour grading is a little too grey, I think it works better than a Snyder superhero film, so I'll probably be seeing this when it releases. In the opposite way of F1, a full How to Train Your Dragon trailer released after the Super Bowl. But looking at the short version here, there's still some things to talk about. To get the cat out of the bag, yes, a white, blonde, blue-eyed character is now, I'm fairly sure, none of those things. And while it's not the biggest problem with the film, I can understand how people can get annoyed with the replacement, and I do mean non-racist people. A character in fiction is often made by 2 main parts, their role in the story, and their design. This is true for cartoons, books, and film, and when you leave half of that character out, well, it's difficult to see them the same. Those who understand this make new characters instead of rewriting old ones, such as the divide in Peter Parker and Miles Morales, while both are Spider-Man at different times. And on the other side of the fence, most superhero gingers are being replaced, when you can easily just dye a dark-skinned actor's hair. And here it's the same. She has very light skin, so the initial complaint about race shouldn't really matter much anyway in this example, and changing eye colour can be frustrating, but the fact that they haven't changed her hair colour through either dye or wig points towards either a lack of effort or a lack of giving a shit about their source material, and you don't want people like that making the movie of the franchise you love. You know what, I think that is just my problem as a ginger, I just hate when they change hair colours. The CGI on the surroundings and Toothless looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing how the other dragons look, and even if I don't think they were in the first film, imagine seeing a whispering death in this design, oh boy. Hiccup looks good. See how I can tell who the character is just based on how he looks? Take notes! Although this trailer doesn't sell me on his acting yet, and there's a wide shot to see the other characters, and the twins aren't blonde either. They look ginger. So it's a win for me, but come on! I think someone on the board of this movie hates blondes, after one ran off with his kid or something. I'll probably see this film on streaming and do a video on it, but it's not something I'm super hyped for. And if a lot of people see this video, I'm anticipating people calling me a racist in the comments. Next, we have probably the best trailer here, even if it's not a proper trailer. It's a comedic skit, the Lilo and Stitch live-action remake. Man, am I getting sick of adding those words on the end of film titles. It's short and sweet. Stitch runs onto the field wreaking havoc and says a well-known line from the original movie, the thing that's meant to be so bad it makes people faint and or throw up. It's really cute and well done, and while I'm just about as hyped for How to Train Your Dragon as this teaser does far better to hype it up and get the audience interested. And unless they make the Hawaiians white, I don't think any design changes will need to be commented on other than the aliens. So I'm getting all around better vibes from this one. Now next we have the Scientology poster boy in the next Mission Impossible, taking inspiration from Harry Potter and splitting the final film in twain. At least, I'm pretty sure it's the final film. And I think I only saw like maybe 4 and 5 of this series. I definitely watched the Jeremy Renner Sandstorm one and liked it, so while I barely know these characters, and I'm not particularly a fan of Tom Cruise, there's a good cast, and I think the little bits of action and landscapes we see are good to the eye. I think one day I'll review these films, but I probably won't watch them until then. Next, we have a new Jurassic Park, with a good and all-new cast. I think the last one I saw was Jurassic World, and the subsequent films and cartoons have all received middling reviews as far as I know. But this looks pretty good, and the cast starring MCU and Bridgerton alumni hopefully promises good acting. The premise seems solid, going to the place where the original dinos were made, and the evilest and craziest have been left to their own devices there. It's a great concept that, much like the title Rebirth, might just put the franchise in a new and better direction. From what's there, the dinos look pretty cool, and the water effects look on point, so once I catch up with the series, I might just check this one out on streaming. Now is probably the only film here not affiliated with a large brand or franchise. A new action film starring action everyman Jack Quaid, and internet-proclaimed sexpert Jacob Batalon. The trailer gives us the basics. Jack Quaid plays a man who can't feel pain, making him the ultimate kind of action hero, which pairs well with his endearing attitude as he tries to save his loved one. I'm not too sure on the comedy aspect, but I can't really describe Jack Quaid's acting past it's Jack Quaid. And that's not bad or anything, but if you've seen, say, Scream 5 and The Boys, he has the same kind of gait for most of his performances, and it seems to be similar here again. From what we get, I think I might check this one out on streaming, as I usually save cinemas for spectacle. I'm pretty sure my last 5 times in the cinema involved Deadpool and Wolverine and Endgame. So while I'm not amazed by this, I think I'll give it a go. There are some solid camera work moments, and I'm hoping good action. Lastly, we have a franchise that in my opinion has been on a steady decline, yet can never get as bad as Trolls, the Smurfs.
I kissed a Smurf and I liked it?
Which I have only seen in cartoon and the live-action movie form, and thanks to this, my main takeaway is that Smurfette is, for some ungodly reason, always played by a singer. Katy Perry, Demi Lovato, and now Rhianna, who, as far as I know, hasn't made a good song since 2016.
What the fuck are you talking about, huh?
Although to be fair, that's her singing. For all we know, her acting's just as bad. I'm not very hyped for this film. I liked the Neil Patrick Harris movies with their simple, likeable trend, the same kind of movie like Hop, Enchanted, and Sonic. But this movie, while seemingly taking a detour to our world, seems to be mostly animated. There are also seemingly new characters, if they are a little gimmicky. Ken, played by the great actor Nick Offerman, apparently Papa's brother, and in the same vein, Razamel, played by John Paul Karliak, Gargamel's brother, and apparently Sandra Oh and Natasha Lyonne in there somewhere. No idea what's up with all the brothers, but whatever. I hope this is fun, but I probably won't be checking this out, even if Billy Lord, Kurt Russell, Octavia Spencer, and Miguel from Karate Kid are all there. Although that faith is kind of undone by James Corden appearing in the cast list. So those were the trailers in the Super Bowl. Please go to the comments and tell me which one you're most hyped for, and if you had any misgivings like I did. Please like the video if you liked it, comment down below if you wish, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do, ring the notification bell so you're told every single time that I make an upload. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next review. Bye!
Toast. A little piece of toast. Because there's so much to choose from. There's brown bread, white bread, all sorts of wholemeal bread. It comes in funny packages with writing on the side.